y'all. The Pretty Spectacular Football Show is back. We're back. We are officially back. Season 2. Now, if I'm a little lagged, just blame the internet. Blame it on the blue tap, blame it on the blue cat, whatever we got to do. But as y'all know, I'm Pretty Girl Daz, and this is the Pretty Spectacular Football Show where we dive into all things football, HBCU, FBS, FCS, NFL, all the things. Today I got a nice good show for you, especially since it's the first one. So I just want to jump into, and we're going to do a nice recap of my first game. Well, was it my first game of the season? My first HBCU game of the season, because I did do high school and things like that. So I'll be dropping some high school stuff in there as well. But we are going to talk about the MEAC SWAC football challenge or kickoff challenge. We're going to drop into some NCAA stuff. We're going to get into the Jerry Jones mess. Okay. I don't know if he's okay or not. Talk about a little bit more of college football top 25 and what that's looking like. And then there's so much more that we're going to dive into. So I'm going to get started without further ado. Like I said, we're going to drop into our HBCU content right now. And with that, I'm going to talk about, like I said, the MEAC SWAC kickoff challenge. Let me know if y'all can see me now. Y'all probably can't even see me. Y'all probably can't hear me. Okay, there we go. There we go. You know, it's the first episode back. You got to drop a little seasoning on it. But once we get into episode like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we ain't going to have a problem. I promise y'all. But MEAC SWAC kickoff challenge, as you know, this is the week 0 HBCU game where you got to see the defending national champions in FAMU versus the MEACs, Norfolk State. Last season, they did finish, if not last, nearly last, and they are projected to also finish last. Yeah. But this was a much better game than I expected. So FAMU started off very slow. They were missing tackles. Defense was not holding up the end of the bargain. It was just so much going on that I was just surprised from seeing how they were last season. And, you know, one of my favorite head coaches, Coach Barry from South Carolina State University, said, like, last year is last year. We're not worried about last year. We're worried about this year. What you going to do when you hit the field? So FAMU definitely has some things to work on with being faster, coming out of the paint fast. Like, they just need to be faster. Minor mistakes they need to stop. Defense, I think, could be a little bit better. Special teams was really doing it, though. Defense really did a great job with stopping a 2-point conversion at the end. I don't think that Norfolk State should have called that, but I'm not a coach, and we're not going to get into all that. I will say, and I will give Norfolk State their flowers. The way that they played against FAMU, they definitely show that they have high caliber status when it comes to football, athletes, talent, and skill. There was talks about being disciplined, as they thought that FAMU was a little bit more disciplined, and FAMU thought, you know, that they had some other things going on. So I really just think that this team is going to really be a surprise team for the MEAC. I'm super excited to see what they do. But, you know, when you think about Norfolk State, you're not thinking about, wow, like, you're not thinking Norfolk State is going to be dominant. I think of the band and the Golden Girls or whatever they're called. So, like, that's what I think about when I hear them. But they're showing that they are going to be an athletic team. They're going to be tough. They're going to be strong. Both coaches definitely commended each other on how well they played. So, like I said, I'm excited to see what we do there. I do think that Norfolk State is going to surprise a couple teams, and their record and their projection is going to be higher by the end of the season. So you heard it here first. Their projections in where they're going to stand is going to be higher than where they were last year. But moving on and continuing on with HBCU content, you all know that the Macy Thanksgiving Parade, it happens every year in New York City. Everybody wants to go. People fill the streets. And even though COVID was a thing at some point, they are still very much active. They're still very much doing it and doing it big. They do it big every time, honey. And, you know, the profits do go to benefit children. But exciting news for HBCUs, Alcorn State University. Oh, it's Alcorn or Alcorn. I say it wrong every time. But y'all, listen. Charge it to my head, not my heart. But they are going to be in the parade this year. So that's super exciting, being able to see an HBCU band. And I'm pretty sure we've seen them multiple times again and before. But the Dynamite is going to be there. And what I do love is that Macy's gave them and started off their fundraising with I think about $20,000, either $10,000 or $20,000 to get their fundraising started. So that way they can be able to make it there, be there, pay for whatever they need to pay for. So I think this is really sweet, really cool way to give back, and really cool to be able to see our culture represented at one of the biggest parades in the entire, I won't say the entire world, but at least in the United States, it is one of the most well-known and biggest parades that there is. So I'm excited to see what they do. I know that their majorette dancers are thebomb.com. One of the girls from Dancing Dolls, I'm not sure, she's Christiana. She's probably not in school no more, but she was on the team. So that's the only reason why I really know about it. Was Alcorn? Or was it PV? Child, don't have me lie. I'm gonna move on because I don't want to lie. I don't want to lie. I don't want to lie to y'all. Okay. That was kind of quick. But it wasn't as quick as Florida State University lost to Georgia Tech. Now, they were down in the first half, came back. I mean, they evened it out around halftime. But, at the end of the day, FSU was coming in ranked number 10. Number 10, child. Georgia Tech wasn't. So it was a complete upset. But, they are still ACC rivalries. They always duke it out. Covered a lot of their games last year. But FSU did. I feel like the only person I was impressed with was the kicker. I mean, he's the only one that came out and actually, did what he needed to do. He had a career-long field goal. I believe it was 59 yards, 49, 59, one of the nines. Very long field goal. So he did what he needed to do. They just looked sluggish, sloppy, and I get it's the first game, so we shouldn't look at it too harshly, but that first game really dropped them, and it elevated Georgia Tech, obviously. But Georgia Tech from last year, as I've said, if you follow me and you look at Locker Talk, if you watch other pretty spectacular shows, then I've always spoke about Georgia Tech and how they've progressively gotten better over and over and over throughout the season. They ended their season at a bowl game. They won that bowl game. They've been hungry for success, and they have a coach that is also hungry for success, a person who's been on the team, who understands what the pride in what Georgia Tech actually looks like and stands for and what it's supposed to be. And he even said, they're supposed to be in, in conversations of top 25 in bowl games, and this is where they're supposed to be. They will not likely make it into top 25, at least not now. Well, we're going to talk about that a little bit later, but they're definitely going to put their names out there now. They're making progress. You just beat Florida State University, and last year Florida State was one of the teams to beat. So it's kind of like a full circle moment for them, being able to really go to Ireland. Imagine you get to play in Ireland. You get to go over there. Beautiful country. They packed that stadium out. Both FSU and Georgia Tech packed that stadium out. So imagine you get to win in Ireland in front of your fans. You get to bring home the win, and it's just like a Superman ripping off the chest. Super duper dope and super exciting there. I will say though, I am disappointed in the Seminoles, and I hope that they can recover. They did lose their quarterback to he graduated. So they have a new quarterback there. They have new people on the line. So hopefully they can look at this game, look at this film, and realize y'all need to be playing 110% every single time. Every single time. Same thing that they're saying for FAMU. They have to play their best football every single game because somebody's always coming for them 110%. So the moment you put out just 100, well, I guarantee the team that you were supposed to be beating, like a Georgia Tech, is going to come and play 110%, and that's how they out-edge you by a field goal, and then you lose. So, I mean, FSU, are you going to be losing the rest of the season? What's going to be going on? We'll see there. We'll see. Another person we got to see about, but you kind of already know about, is Nick Saban. As you know, he did retire. So now he is an analyst, a commentator. We get to see him still on Saturday. We get to see him, and he has already spoken and said that the Georgia Bulldogs are going to win the Natty. They're going to win the Natty. Now, it's not a surprise. So it's no surprising. People in the comments earlier were like, oh, he's trying to troll. He's trying to get Alabama motivated. He's trying to get them out, get out the mud, excite them. I mean, but he's not their coach. So, I mean, whatever. But they're saying that he was just saying these things to try to fire them up and fire up other schools as well. But if we're being so for real, we already know that Georgia has been one of the top 2 teams, and more likely not 2, except for last year. Something happened last year. I don't know what happened. They just, they crumbled on the game. But they've been top 2 and not number 2 for quite some years now. So it just makes the most sense to me. I'm not surprised at all the fact that he even said that. There was one person that said that Oregon is going to win the Natty. And you're probably trying to figure out Oregon. Well, yeah, Oregon. I didn't say it. They said it. They know better than me, apparently. But apparently Oregon is going to win the Natty. So I would love to know what we think about this. Like, do we think Georgia's going to go back and do it? Is Oregon going to come and do it? Who is going to do it? We don't know. But what we do know is that the college top 25 is out. It does change week to week. It's just a thing. Of what it does. I'm going to find an article so I can be able to talk about all top 25 of those college teams, because it did change. Like I said, FSU was coming in and they were number 25. They were number 10. And child, they dropped real bad. Let me see. Y'all know I had this and then I lost it. Had it and then I lost it. Don't judge me though. Don't judge me. Okay? We gotta have a good time. Okay, so this is update on ESPN. If you don't believe me, go to the app yourself, look it up. Okay. So the top 10 teams, I feel like this is still wrong because when I looked at it before, Florida State dropped down to like number 16. This ain't the right one. Y'all. This ain't the right one. Okay. Either way, the top like 4 or 5 didn't change. So you have UGA at the top. I believe Oregon moved into number 2, but right now on this one, they have Oregon as number 3, Ohio State as number 2, Texas is 4, Alabama is 5, Ole Miss is number 6, Notre Dame at number 7, Penn State, that's a shocker there at number 8, Michigan, Big Blue, who won it all last year, at number 9, and then at FSU as number 10. I told you that changed because they did lose. And I want to get the right one. I literally looked at it earlier. So I'm back to be able to sit and talk. I don't know, y'all. I can't find it. But I do know that Florida State did drop because they lost. They went to number 16. Clemson, I do know Clemson is above them. I believe Clemson is number 14. And Georgia Tech moved up to, I believe, 37. And they was all the way down there, child, before. So, no. Yeah, I don't know. I can't find the new one. It's okay. Oh, we may have got the new one. So, either way, you look at it, Georgia's still sitting up at the top. I just said all of that to say Georgia at the top. Oregon's coming in number 3. Ohio State. I feel like Ohio State is always up there. They're always either number 2, number 3, number 4. They're always there. Like if you just, if you can't have a football conversation without talking about the Ohio State. Just like I feel like you can't have a conversation without talking about Georgia. You can't have a conversation about football without talking about Alabama. So it just all comes and goes. But yeah, the top 10 teams, FSU is still in there, according to whatever we just saw. But, you got the FBS versus ESPN. So like, whatever. But Florida State's still up there. Georgia Tech has moved up. I do know that because I did read their article. And it's like, And, I got an update. So the update hasn't been updated. Because I did read the article, though. I promise you I'm not crazy. I did read an article that said it. But apparently the listings is through August the 15th, and it's the 27th. So a new one will be coming out. As you know, week 1 is this week. It's time to get popping. Florida State does play on Monday at home against Boston College. Yeah. Georgia Tech plays somebody, I don't know. I want to say is ULM, but I could be lying to you. So they kick that off. Clemson is kicking off the week 1. They play Georgia. So you got the big dog versus the mid dog. I'm just saying. Don't come for me. But I'm just saying. They play at Mercedes-Benz, and that's going to be a really big game. And that is on the 31st, I believe. Yeah, sure. So they really starting it, and they're going to kick it off. I'm super excited to see what they do. As you guys know, I did cover Clemson all last season. Clemson is another team that got better as the season progressed, and Georgia has always just been Georgia. So I'm going to say Tech plays Georgia State. So, I mean, they should very much beat them. So it's not really entertaining or something. Okay, whatever. We're going to move on because I'm dragging this on. We are going to move on. Okay. What we got next? The transfer portal. Okay, so listen. Not Georgia. NCAA said, y'all are doing too much. Y'all doing too much. So FBS and FCS committees, their higher merit committees, sat down and said, you know what? We're proposing the bill to only have one transfer portal time, and that will be in December. And it's not going to be for 45 days. It's going to be for 30 days. So you got to get in where you fit in, okay? The other one was in in April. But they're like, take it out. Now, if you are playing in one of the bowl games or the championships, you do get an extended period of time. I believe you get an extra 5 days with that to enter a transfer portal if you want to go. But they said, listen here, y'all are abusing the system. Y'all doing too much. And it's just too much. It's just too much. And you're not going to keep doing it to us. So they said, if you don't want to be at your school no more, if you're trying to leave, if you decide that you feel like you can go get some more money somewhere else, well, babes, you best to get in when you fit in, and that is in December. So I'm going to read a little bit right here. It says, under their proposal, the 30-day transfer window in December will become the loan opportunity. Only one. Okay? They are going to remove the 15-day window that was in April, like I said. The committee will meet about this in October. So when they meet in October, they're going to say yay or nay. And then guess what? It starts this season. So if they say yes, you got 2 months to get yourself together. You got 2 months to really think about if you really, really, really want to stay or you want to go. You better figure it out. Because they're saying this is that we're coming to the end of the season. So at the start of the new season, y'all going to go through the whole year. You're not about to keep playing. And the reason why they want to do this is because this year alone, they had more than 900 FBS scholarship players enter the portal in the month of April after the NCAA was forced to drop its one-time transfer restrictions. And then it says the 2023-2024 portal cycle saw a breaking record number of transactions yet again, with more than 2,700 FBS scholarship transfers. So they said, y'all taking up too much money. You're doing too much moving around, and they want to be able to have more stability in programs, schedules, and their rosters. And I understand that. I've said this before. Same thing with the NIL things. It kind of janked up the game a little bit. But I can also understand because some schools are struggling bad. They're struggling bad, honey, to keep people on the roster because everybody gonna get there and they're like, I can make more money somewhere else. I'm entering the portal in April. So you better hope they don't change the rules, because if they do change the rules, wherever you decide to go, you're going to be at least stuck if you cannot get yourself in that portal by December. They are also going to be voting on a red shirt proposal or rule, essentially saying if you choose to take a red shirt year and your team makes it to the playoffs or to a bowl game, you are then eligible to play and it will not count against your red shirt year. So be as it may. I guess, if you don't start, but your star wide receiver gets hurt and the one after that gets hurt, I guess then it's your time. You get to go in. You get to play. But I feel like it also, if you make it to the playoffs, it also can give you that playing experience, especially if you're a redshirt freshman, to really get in there, to dive deep into, maybe playing, getting used to being in that big environment. So I feel like I don't really see the downfall to that, so I'm not against that. But I do think that transfer portal rule, I think that needs to go into effect. If I could vote on the committee, I would vote, because you need to pick where you want to be and stay. Just stay for a while. Because you can't come here in April and leave in December. Child, you gonna stay right here. You gonna stay right here. Yeah. Another person still talking about college football, because we got college football is just the beginning, but there's so much going on. It's like non-stop. Another person that does not stop is Dion, Uncle Sanders. So he is giving back. He's doing what he always does. He's being the stand-up guy that he always is. And he said, guess what, players? If you got a child, come to the front. Come to the front. We're gonna start your bank account. For your child, not for you, for your child. And it is being reported that he is helping every athlete that has a kid, which hopefully it isn't a lot. Hopefully it isn't a lot. But, there are grad students on the teams that can go into their 5th year. Some players come into college with kids. I think that's kind of, I'm not going to pass my judgment, whatever. But he's going to help them start, and the amount is going to be $2,121. 21. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. So he's saying, a child is not a mistake, it's a blessing, but you should also be prepared for it. You should be taking accountability and taking responsibility for your child. And I want to basically help you get to where you are. As you know, not all athletes have NIL deals, and some that do are maybe not huge NIL deals. So the fact that he's helping those athletes on his team, it really just shows his giving spirit, as he's always been. So that's one thing you can't say. You can't say this ain't a giving man. And you can't say he's not a helpful man, because he's always been that type of person. He's always given back. He's always put himself out there and always tried to give you a lesson within whatever he's doing. And I think it's just amazing because, like I said, not all athletes have bank accounts. We're going to start there. Not all athletes have bank accounts. And not all athletes got money, but they got kids. Yeah. So, it is what it is. I love it. I think it's super positive. I think it's something that we should all be looking at and just like, wow, that's a great thing. And I think, and I would hope that maybe more coaches, I know maybe more coaches are helping their athletes in whatever that way it is. But, it's Deion Sanders, so it's always going to be put out in the media, always going to be put out in the news. But I just hope that other coaches can look at this and like, wow, you know what? I have an opportunity to help my athletes, to help my students in any way possible. And this is one way that I can help them. So that way they wouldn't have to struggle, because the kid shouldn't have to struggle. It's not, the kid didn't ask to be here, but you did make the kid. So you need to take care of the kid. Okay? I like it. And another thing that I like, Dallas finally gets it right. They finally get it right. There's been talks and talks and talks. Why did it take so long? Maybe because Jerry Jones is still the GM. I don't know. Ooh, I said it. But hear me out. They finally get it right. They signed CeeDee Lamb, which is their number 1 top dog. Everybody has been saying this was no brainer, no question. How the heck did it even get to this long? Him not practicing, him not playing. What was going on? That's their number 1 best player on their offense, according to them. I didn't say that. To me, he is. I love me some CeeDee, but everybody was like, Dallas didn't sign him. They didn't extend him. What is going on? What's the problem? What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? And a lot of times you see in instances where the team waits so long and then they got to come up out of the pockets even more. Ching, big bucks. And that's what Dallas had to do. They had him on a 4-year contract for $136 million. And they finally get it right. Is he worth more than that? Maybe. Did Dak get his contract yet? I don't know. I just didn't see that. But everybody was worried about this one, CeeDee Lamb, because he makes Dallas great. They get it right. They get it right. If you're arguing with it, you're a hater. But I do also want to say he has now become the second highest non-QB position player to be paid this salary in NFL. So he's getting his money's worth. He's doing his due diligence, and I can't wait to see him back on the field. It should be the offense has been centered around him for quite some time. Him and a couple other key players. Ezekiel Elliott is back over there, so hopefully he can be their third down guy. C continues to be the great explosive guy that he is, and that's what it's going to be. Now, we only got 2 more topics, y'all, and I should have took a break, but it's kind of late for that now. It's kind of late for that, but again, first show, it's not going to be that long. We're only 26 minutes in. I think I'm talking kind of fast. I got y'all next time, though. I'll slow down. I'll take a break. I'll tell y'all more of what we're going to talk about. I'll get into all of that. But as the first show, I just wanted to show my face. I just wanted to talk to y'all. I just want to be back because that's how excited I am that I'm back. I'm excited that football's back. I'm excited that you get to see this new make and model of this show. You get to see the vibes of this show. You get to know that I'm going to be here on Tuesday. So make sure you are liking, sharing, subscribing, leave me a comment right now. You thought I was going to throw that in at the end? I'm throwing it in every chance I get. Okay? Now, another person that I feel like did not get it right. I thought he got it wrong. I feel like he got it wrong. I think Jerry needs a therapist. He needs a therapist. He didn't go sit down and talk to that lady. I think Dr. Brian, I think Dr. Brian needs to get him on the couch. He needs to get him on the couch. If you don't know who Dr. Brian is, please go reference Cam Newton's recent interview. Sat down with Dr. Bryant. She is a doctor in psychology. And she got him all the way together, child. She gathered him. I'm going to talk about that more, though, on Locker Talk, though. But right now, we're going to talk about Jerry. So Jerry came out and was like, I'm the best one for the job. I'm the only one who can run this. You know, he said, I'm the only one who can do it. If he said, can't nobody do it like me? This is my team. Can't nobody figure it out like me? If I can't figure it out, nobody can figure it out. I don't trust nobody with my team. Now, this is the team who ain't been back to the. Okay, you know what? Y'all know what it is. I can understand where he's coming from in terms of maybe revenue, in terms of money and the value of this team, because we can't fake and say that Dallas is probably the most profitable team in the NFL. They are a worldwide renowned brand. People know them. It's just like the Yankees. You go somewhere else, you are going to see something Cowboys. You're going to see that star. You see that star, you know exactly what it is. You know exactly what it means. And if we're being honest, their logo is one of the only logos where you're not allowed to duplicate it, replicate it, or put it anywhere else. You don't really see it anywhere else because it is what it is. So the revenue part, the value part, the money part, that I will say he has built an empire. Him, his family, and everything, they've built the empire. I can't hate on that. We can't. You know, if you say I'm going to the Star, you know, the Star in Texas where they practice at and everything. So like they've literally built this brand that is well-renowned, well-known, and it's at the hand of him. Very well, we will give him that. We will give him that. But what we won't give him is the fact that he thinks that being the GM and him being so involved with the plays that's going on, with the players, with that part of the organization, I think he's quite wrong there. And I think he's wrong there because you've seen how they've done. Their post-season strategy is poop. I'm trying not to curse. It's poop. You know, like I know, it's poop. You waited too long to sign CeeDee Lamb. Poop. Your strategies don't work. You haven't been able to capitalize off of a postseason in 20 years or so. So that part of it, I don't agree with it. I don't agree that he is the only person who can make some shake when it comes to dollars. I understand this. He said it's my money and I do with it as I please. And I feel like if you got all this money, Jerry, like, why don't you just hire somebody who really can do it? Hire the best football, even if it's like an analyst to analyze your team to figure out what you need to do and where you go wrong when it comes to November and December. Like, figure that part out. Hire somebody to figure that part out, because I don't know if he played football when he was growing up. I didn't do my part of that research. But I do not think that he understands and really, really, truly knows what's going on for the game of football. I mean, he is very old. You see him? Do you see him? Look at his wrinkles. Okay, he don't know what's going on. But he just knows, I don't trust nobody with my money. And I'm a $1 billion man. I don't trust nobody with my money. You can't touch my money. And I wonder if he's like that with his children. You can't have no money. I'm not giving you no more than I already gave you. But I feel as though that this team will not get better playing wise until he either figures it out and lets it go, or until he meets the Lord upstairs. I don't know. Oh, we got something. He played at Arkansas. I always say Arkansas. He played at Arkansas as an lineman in the 60s. Baby, and his mindset is stuck in the 60s. Chill. He need to do. Just let it go. I do know that his family comes from oil. You know, those things, like, you know, he basically owns Dallas. I think he owns Texas. Child. He owns Texas. But I just think that he needs to give it up on the football way. Find somebody who can really get you in there to really get you back. And you know what? He's not worrying about the Super Bowl, because he's not worrying about going to the Super Bowl. He got all the money in the world. He's not worrying about the Super Bowl. He don't care about that, but your players do, so you should care about that. But you know, who am I? Who am I to judge? Who am I to say anything? But I do think that what he said is crazy, and I wouldn't read some of the stuff that he said, but that would cause for me to curse. But he definitely said, "It's my money. I do with it as I please. You are not touching it. Can't nobody run the money like I run the money. Can't nobody run this team like I run the team. And if I need somebody to figure it out, ain't nobody better than me who can figure it out, because I've been doing it for so long. I want to see you try and come take it from me. Because if you don't believe me, just watch how long my money is and how long it can actually do and go and all those things." But that's enough about Jerry. I don't know if Jerry's okay or not. I don't know who asked him for this his opinion or whatever. We already knew that Jerry Jones had a tight lock. See, as tight as his tie is around his neck. That's how he got Dallas. And he ain't letting it go. He ain't letting it go. They're going to have to put that man in a grave, and he still ain't going to let it go. His ghost is going to come back, and it's going to be over AT&T Stadium like this. He's not letting that team go, baby. He loves Dallas. He loves them Cowboys, and that's just what it is. Okay. Moving on to our last topic before I get into my final thoughts. The Kelce brothers hit a lick, honey. Okay. The rich get richer. Now, I don't know how I feel about this. So they signed a new deal, $100 million, with Amazon for their podcast. I believe it's called New Heights. Congratulations. I don't know how I feel about this, because I feel as though I hate to say that, y'all gonna say I'm a hater. I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater. But I do like other podcasts over this one. I do. I get it. Jason Kelce, that's his name, right? Jason. Yes, Jason. He is such a likable person. I get it. He's probably one of the most liked Eagles in the world. I mean, you know, granted, you know, him and his family, great. Travis is just Travis, you know. He's living it up, doing the things, winning all of the Super Bowls, having a high profile billionaire girlfriend, and just doing all the amazing things. So that's why I feel like, I mean, come on, y'all couldn't get nobody else a deal on Amazon for their podcast. And of course, the NFL promotes this one, but there's other NFL players that have present and past that have podcasts as well that I feel like are just as good. I mean, heck, even Club Shay Shay, I feel like be dipping and doing a little bit more for the podcast. I know Club Shay Shay a little messy, and he don't really be doing a lot of athletes, but I feel like if you was to give him a deal where he said where you had to put more athletes on in, I feel like he would do that. Even the one with him and Ocho Cinco, when they do it like the After Dark Hour thing, I think that's a really good podcast as well. Cam Newton actually has a podcast. I believe that is his podcast, but I always see it down up and down my TikTok feed all the time. And I will say that although I think that man is a little bit of a narcissist, I do believe that a lot of the stuff that he talks about football related in the podcast is really good. And it's talking about sports also in general. And he's just giving his like stone cold opinion, and he's talking to other people about it too. So I mean, that's just the name I just named, just a few, like a little bit, but there are so many other good podcasts that I feel like also deserve the opportunity. I'm not saying they don't deserve the opportunity, but I just feel like they also could also get the opportunity. Like 100 mil is like crazy. It's crazy. I wish to get there one day, but I wish other podcasters too that are doing really good, especially ones that are talking about like men and mental health and things that are going on in the sports and in the world around. Could also get that opportunity. I don't really know what their podcast talks about. I've seen a few clips, maybe once or twice. The times that I did see the clips, Travis was talking about his relationship, and I didn't really care to know about it because I just don't. If you do, you do. That's great. But I just didn't, it wasn't a thing for me. I didn't feel like it was relatable to me and to what I was looking for. So I didn't really watch it, and I don't watch it. But congratulations to them. 100 mil is going to get them very, very far. And I hope that they get to change their background, maybe, get into a more live set. You got 100 mil. You can do a whole bunch of things with it now. A whole bunch of things, whole more things. But that's my topics for today. I kept it kind of light, don't you think? I kept it kind of light. I think I kept it pretty good. I didn't drag y'all too much. Not like I could have, but I didn't do it. So this says what's to come. And it's supposed to say my final thoughts. So we're going to get into it because what's to come is my final thought at the end of the day, Chad. At the end of the day, it's my final thought. My final thoughts is coming into week 1 of college football, I believe that more teams are going to be delivering upsets than they were before. I do want to see what Colorado does. Obviously, they have great players and great caliber, and they're going to be put to the task. They are in a new conference, so they're going to have to really show up and show out every single time. I really am excited to see if for this Labor Day game, can Florida State turn their loss around, turn it upside down, and beat Boston College. I don't feel like Boston College is one of the schools in the ACC that is not more high regarded. Okay, you could say what you want. They just like Wake Forest. Nothing wrong, nothing disrespectful about them. There's just so many different levels within the ACC that you have like a high ACC, a mid ACC, and a low ACC. If you know, and you can understand what I'm saying. So Boston College, to me, for basketball, they're very mid. For football, I feel like they are hit or miss. So I don't know. Right now, they're in the lower for me, just in my opinion. So I want to see what they do and bring to the field this year. Can't wait to cover my first game of the season. It won't be the Clemson game, unfortunately. Okay, couldn't get your girl in the Marseille, but it'll be coming up very soon. Super excited to see again if FAMU can come off of their slow start and get fully going for their official week 1 kickoff game, as they will be playing South Carolina State University against one of my favorite coaches. As I said, Coach Berry, at home, and they say they don't lose. They don't lose at Bragg. So it's their time to brag for them not to lose. And coming in the NFL, as you know, NFL starts this Thursday. The Chiefs versus the Ravens. Great game to kick off the season. Will the Ravens come back and get their redemption, or will the Chiefs continue to chief it? We don't know, but we shall see. And once those top 25 update, I promise you I'm going to make a post. So make sure that you're liking, sharing, and subscribing, not only to MTMV Sports, but to PG Love Sports. As you know, that is Pretty Girls Love Sports. And again, that's at PG Love Sports. Make sure you're getting into it. Follow me on all social media platforms. Make sure you're looking out for Locker Talk. Make sure you're here on Tuesdays at 8:30. If I'm a little bit late, just wait for me, okay? At 8:30 on Tuesday, we're going to be getting to the Pretty Spectacular Show. Make sure you are looking out for the Pretty Playbook podcast, because that is coming come October. Something like that, child. It's coming. October. It's coming. And you might actually see me in some other ventures, so make sure you are keying in, because I got some exciting things to go for you. Thank you anyway for tuning in. Thank you for watching. And I can't wait to see y'all next Tuesday. Bye.
It's not just about the love of the game. It's about dedication and commitment through the process and the patience to endure. There's joy in reaching your goals and peace in knowing you've done all you're supposed to do. Ozell brand. It's not just a brand, it's a lifestyle.